Things like the oil shock thus far haven't thrown the U.S. economy off its stride, but there are some signs of possible difficulties ahead. We talked earlier today with Republican Senator Mike Braun of Indiana about where he sees the economy and whether the president should back off on things like a trade war with China and sanctions on Iran to make sure we don't enter a downturn.
No, I don't think so, and I've been at it 37 years before I came to D.C., and when the legislation took place back in December of 2017, the Jobs and Tax Cut Act, by far the biggest thing for a Main Street entrepreneur that I've ever noticed. I was so happy Senator Ron Johnson dug in to make sure that small businesses were taken care of, because when you look at what we're organized as, it's generally not a C Corp. It would be a sub S or an LLC. And I was disappointed that it looked like all the emphasis was on C Corps. So I can tell you it's as hot as it's ever been. And the fact that we're going this deep into a recovery tells you that the stage was set. So when it comes to tariffs, when it comes to any of the other things there, don't lose sight of the fact that we've set the stage for growth well into the future that's going to be closer to 2.5% to 3% in GDP growth, not the mediocrity that we were kind of glued into during the Obama years.
So, Senator, how do you square that view with some of the indications of a downturn, even some of a recession? I mean, you can talk about the yield curve with the 10-year Treasury. You can talk about some of the manufacturing downturn. Some people think we're in a partial recession, actually, when it comes to manufacturing. How do you square that with your bullish take?
Well, it's the long run and the short run. As I said earlier, this recovery, due to the fundamentals that were in place before President Trump got elected, we would be in a full-blown recession. There's no doubt about it. Here, I think, despite some of the choppy waters out there, no one can really say if we're going to be proceeding into the future, how far in this healthy fashion. My opinion is it's going to be there much longer than even what the experts say, despite the headwinds. We've recently seen China, starting to crack a little bit. Heard over the weekend when it comes to importing soybeans and pork. When they're talking about relaxing that means the strategy is working. And for anyone that went with their supply chain deeply into China and allured by the market of 1.4 billion people, it is a healthy time to look to see how you adjust your supply chain. And you don't hear about that often, but that's occurring. And that'll help extend things into the future.